Ah, qué hijos de mil puta. ¿Por qué no me deja publicar eso?
Cyberpunk 2077 is developed by CD Projekt Red and is slated to release in the third week of November across PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and Series S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One,
Qué
and
hijos de puta.
Microsoft Windows.
A
With
ver.
a well-built open-world topography that is full of possibilities, guided by a future era of robotics and incredible advancements, this one will be nothing other than a delight to play. This is one of the most anticipated games of the decade. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War revolves around the Cold War of the early 1980s. Being inspired by the war's real events, this game features authentic locations like East Berlin, Vietnam, Turkey, and the Soviet KGB headquarters. Around the 1980s, President Ronald Reagan came to know about Perseus, an official Soviet spy on a conspiracy mission. Reagan immediately orders a black operation led by CIA officer Russell Adler and his combat team, including eminent CIA veterans, to eliminate Perseus. The game gives you plenty of options regarding looks, ethnicity, and even different personalities to create a customized character with the codename Bell, developed by Activision. The game is available on several platforms like PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and Series S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows. With an equally challenging and exciting campaign mode and an upgraded multiplayer combat model, Black Ops Cold War will finally add its signature zombies mode. The release date was notified to be the 13th of November 2020. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It is time to join a new Assassin's Creed quest to adventure to the Dark Ages, taking the role of the staunch Viking assassin Eivor. The storyline is set in Norway and England of the 9th century, and as you explore all the possibilities, you might have to do a lot of climbing on your way as you travel to all four grand empires in the UK. The plot majorly expands on the fierce conflict between the Brotherhood of Assassins and the Templar Order, developing on the RPG elements and overall gameplay introduced by its former releases Assassin's Creed Origins and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Valhalla allows you plenty of customization for your character's tattoos, hairstyles, facial structure, dialogue, and the course of action you want to choose. Add to that a collection of different weapons to solidify your dominion over empires. Developed by Ubisoft, this game is bound to land on Sony's next-gen console, and with the official release date of November 17th, 2020, we are already ready to go the Viking way. Godfall. Godfall is a third-person action-adventure RPG set in a fantastic world of several realms: earth, water, fire, air, and spirit. Adding on to its exquisitely designed fictional setting, you find the elements of magical events, battles, and of course, knights to fight against the enemies. The knight's objective, character you
¿Qué
play,
haces, William?
defend the
¿Cómo
province
estás?
of chaos at all costs.
Che,
You get to
hace
choose
rato
from
estuviste
5 different
porque
weapons based on
recién
your abilities
mandé
and
para ver
yours
el chat
favorite plate.
y no sé si
Weapon
estaba
1
transmitiendo
is
porque cuando
very
entro por
versatile.
YouTube me
You can
pregunta si
roll,
desea
roll,
transmitir no sé qué
roll
mierda
more.
y le
Two-handed
tengo que poner que
bludgeoning
sí.
and a double-handed
Y a veces me da la
greatsword.
sensación como que ya
The
está
game is based
transmitiéndose.
on cooperative gameplay, but they have also given you the option of playing the single-player mode. Like many other productions known as loot shooter games, Godfall runs on the principle that your loots become more challenging as you advance further in your quest. Gearbox has made huge progress on its success and reputation from earlier releases like Borderlands and Borderlands 3, and this one is bound to please you for its sound
Hace que Argentina inflación war. Ah, bueno, está bien. Sí, no sé, encontré este canal que me pareció bastante interesante. O sea, no solamente de juegos actuales, tiene de otros juegos también. Y dije, vamos a ponerlo mientras dibujo, que ya hace como media hora que quiero dibujar y todavía no va a dibujar. Terminé esta porquería que me tiene podrido. No te mi guante. Se me estoy lleno de tarea. Me preguntan por un lado, me preguntan por el otro, no entiende que estoy ocupado. ¿Qué carajo pasó? Ah. Estabilización. Tiene que salir bien. Ese se ve interesante. ¿Por qué se me movió tanto el coso acá abajo? ¿Qué haces, Comic Cat Games? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Todo bien? Espero que estés bien. Has vuelto, sí, hace rato que no estabas. Uy, qué finito me quedó. Ah, ese estaba muy bueno. Cristales. Sí, cristales. La mecánica está bastante interesante. No me la acuerdo, pero yo me acuerdo. O sea, me acuerdo que había dicho, no, está re buena la idea. La primera vez que la vi. Está buena la animación, no me gusta el flat design, pero bueno. ¿Por qué saltaban así? Medio raro que así. No, yo no sé nada de auto, no tengo ni idea. Ni de auto, ni de moto, ni de nada, nada. Y me quedo, che, se ve bastante bien ese juego. Me quedo pensando, ¿qué hago primero? ¿Me construyo un lugar para trabajar o me compro un auto?
gas, and gravel,
Creo que la
all
primera
featuring
episodio es
features from
más,
a range of
más
vehicles
madura,
powered
¿no?
by older machines.
Aunque con el auto, o
Meanwhile,
sea, me voy de
Wolverine
joda.
superpower sprint cars. Created by Codemasters, Dirt 5 proves to be a fitting
El
testament to its
motorsport me gusta
predecessors.
mucho, pero sabes dónde
The
no es.
career mode in the game is headed by the famous voice artists Troy Baker and Nolan North. Dirt 5 allows you to play offline with a split screen accommodating up to 4
A los
players,
límites más
while
estúpidos.
online mode challenges you to compete in the innovative objective-based track with up to 12 players. With the photo mode, you can now capture,
Photo
edit,
mode,
and
vamos,
showcase
todavía tiene
numerous
photo
moments
mode.
of dirt track racing. The official release date is November 6th, 2020, and we can't keep calm.
A ver, ¿cómo mierda hago una curva con esto? Un rectángulo, redondez en las
Need
esquinas.
for speed, hot pursuit, remastered.
Eh,
Of course, we need
¿Por
Need
qué no
for
puedo poner
Speed, Hot
el
Pursuit
relleno?
remastered on our go to games list. It is totally up to you whether you want to unleash the lawbreaker inside you or
Ah,
defend your
mira,
own makers. With
cosa
strategic
extraña.
weapons at hand to deal with the speedbusters or raging cars to give
¿Y
anti-speedsters
dónde
a run
está
for
el
their money, this
tamaño?
game
A ver.
promises to provide you a heart-thumping experience with its exquisite visuals enhanced like never before. The game comes
Hay
with
un juego de
immersive
carreras que va
auto-owned
explotando todo el lugar.
perspective
Está
and
buenísimo ese.
head-to-head racing rounds with your friends, bringing curated challenges based on your recent matches. If this
Esto lo voy a
didn't
dejar
scream
aparte.
yet, this game also comes upgraded with a new multiplayer gameplay that supports cross-platform sync so that you can race with your circle without
Pero...
bothering about platforms. With another mind-blowing release, Stellar Entertainment Limited and EA Sports have done a fantastic job yet again. The release date is announced to be November 6th, 2020.
Creo que no me quedó muy redondito, pero bueno, me chupa. La redondez. A ver qué otro video encontramos. ¿Y qué tal todo por estos días? Bastante complicado, muy ocupado, la verdad. Demasiado para mi gusto. Ayer traté de hacer una tarea, no llegué a hacer la tarea. Eh, y dije, bueno, no llegué a hacer la tarea, me voy a poner a hacer esto. Tampoco llegué porque tenía que entregarlo ayer. Lo extendí 2 días más y nada. Trato de no amargarme, o sea, de patearlos. Hay otra mina que me está rompiendo las bolas por Fiverr diciéndome que quiere no sé qué mierda, que es la que le hice la pantalla la otra vez. Y le digo, pará, loca, o sea, tengo que terminar esto. Encima, la animación tengo que corregir un par de boludeces, si bien ya estaba, pero tengo que corregir un par de cosas. Y no me está dando tiempo para eso. Mañana sí o sí voy a hacer eso. ¿Qué estaba buscando? Me olvidé. A ver, muñeco de mierda. ¿Qué estaba viendo? Me olvidé que estaba buscando. Bueno, en fin. Y, y nada, o sea, ahora apareció otro chabón que quiere que le haga un logo y no tengo tiempo para hacer el logo. O sea, y la semana que viene también, el 16, tengo que empezar con un trabajo nuevo que es una animación de una chica corriendo y la misma chica rodando. O sea, como que se hace mierda contra el piso y empieza a rodar. Eso me va a llevar bastante tiempo, así que mucho tiempo no voy a tener. A no ser que paguen el doble, ¿no? Y bueno, y ahí quizás tenga más tiempo. No dormiré, pero bueno, más guita. Pía, le pifié mal. Oh, fuck you, bitch. Y acá. Y acá. Acá hay algo raro. Y ahora me está pintando el hambre. A ver. Algo raro acá. Ah, ahí está. Parece un esperma más que otra cosa. Ah, la puta que te parió. No es un esperma. Oso. Ah, el video estaba buscando. Eso era. Voy a quitar. ¿Dónde está? Este ya fue. Esto no. Hay 5 espectadores. ¡Wow! No te puedo creer. Hola, señores que no hablan. A ver, 10 underrated superhero video games. ¿Se ve? ¿No se ve?
10 underrated superhero video games of all time that you have to finish. Have you ever seen the same intensity around video games as in the movies? You probably haven't, because although the games were launched keeping the movies in mind, they seldom turned out to be as good. However, with all their unique powers and characteristics, superheroes do make an interesting case
Qué
for
bajón eso de
themselves
los
when it comes
problemas.
to the gaming fraternity.
Sí, es un bajón
Ever
cuando te
since
aparece
home
todos
consoles
juntos, es
have
una
been
mierda.
around, superhero games found their way to the gamers starting as early as 1979, when the Superman for Atari 2600 game was released. While most attempts since then turned out to lack both in quality and execution, there are some instances when the games did wow the fans. In this video, we bring to you some of those underrated superhero video games that might have escaped your radar. X-Men Origins, Wolverine, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC. Logan is living a quiet life in Canada with his girlfriend Kayla when he is attacked by Victor Creed, who also kills Kayla. Logan is offered a chance to get his revenge by Colonel William Stryker, and he undergoes a procedure to enhance his strengths. After breaking out of the Alkali Lake facility, he seeks out Creed while facing a number of other enemies. In this game, you play as Wolverine as he hunts down mutants and other evil forces. For many, the Wolverine solo movie was a disaster, and the fans found the game to be a saving grace. This certainly is among the better ones in the long list of X-Men games that we had on offer. The best part about the gaming experience is that you feel the brutality of the character truly utilized by the game. When Logan tears through his enemies viciously, you are bound to enjoy the adrenaline rush. Raven Software brings to the fore their love for blood and gore. You can literally see Wolverine's skin tear away when it takes damage. You can heal with adequate cover, and the flesh starts regenerating. The kills are ruthless as you show the enemies the business end of your claws. This game might have been inspired by some other violent games in business, such as God of War, but takes nothing away from the extraordinary efforts by the makers to provide the ideal X-Men game for once.
By the hour, you're not going to find a cure for
The
Batman.
Incredible
Ah,
Hulk.
no.
Ultimate Destruction. PlayStation 2,
Batman.
Xbox, GameCube. Bruce Banner might be a regular guy, but when he transforms into the Mighty Hulk, he is a monstrous superhero. In this game, you play as the Hulk and fight the evil Emil Blonsky. You have the freedom
Cuéntenseme
of
algo,
playing
che.
within the storyline or simply tear through New York, destroying your enemies. The Rage of Hulk is your most lethal weapon, and it is up to you whether to be the destroyer or the protector. We all love the Hulk for what he does best, smash. This game allows you to explore the best of his destructive abilities as you move through an interesting storyline. However, more than the storyline or the graphics that draws your attention here is the sheer ability to enjoy the best of Marvel's Green Monsters hero. You can lift and use the heaviest of equipment or vehicles, and even walking around as the Angry Hulk can be a lot of fun. The free roaming style, like Grand Theft Auto, is appealing, and you can go on unlocking codes that allow you to play in various shorts and costumes. The game captures the essence of how Hulk gets more powerful with his rage. Here, as you continue your devastation, you learn better moves and perform better. However, the military often shows up with some powerful weaponry, making things quite challenging for the gamer. If you have wanted to enjoy the finest of Marvel superhero games, you cannot let this one slip past you.
Oh, juegazo.
Batman, the video game, NES, Game Boy. This game is somewhat based on the movie
Mejor de
Batman,
el mejor de
year
todo.
1989. However, the game does deviate from the movie at times.
La
You
aguja
have to play
dinámica
as
del
Batman
video
as
game.
you fight thugs and other enemies through various levels. After a few boss fights, you eventually face off with the Joker in the bell tower of Gotham Cathedral for a breathtaking contest. When a game is developed by Sunsoft, you immediately expect a good quality NES game, and they do live up to your expectations with this one. The game retains the dark theme of the source material, but there are some distinct changes. The first surprise would be the rather unusual color scheme for Batman. It is great fun as you play the game as the masked vigilante, taking on some of the classic Batman villains like the Joker. The locations seemed quite atmospheric, and you could ignore the blocky graphics in the face of the thrills of the game. Batman has the arsenal of weapons that you would expect, and it is pretty cool to unleash them on the baddies. He also has some interesting moves, especially the one where he can make a neat jump up the wall move when two walls are in close proximity. The soundtrack is just perfect, and gamers seem to love the action-packed challenges on offer. The difficulty is just the right kind where you don't find it too easy, and neither is it too hard to play. If you want to experience the Dark Knight at his pixelated best, this is the timeless classic to opt for. The Adventure of Batman and Robin, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, Sega
No sé,
Genesis,
no sé. Ese no sé.
Your favorite characters, Batman and Robin, are back. Play this game as the duo, take on the villains in an amusement park and other places. Robin doesn't have much of a role here, except for being the moral support to Batman. You can play as Batman and equip him with cool gadgets like X-ray lenses and bombs to face the enemies. We love how this game captures the spirit of the cartoon, and staying true to the source material made this a wonderful gaming experience. The smooth animation and brilliant choice of colors made this visually enriching, where you can enjoy the smooth gameplay. While fighting the enemies, you can return to the Batcave to re-equip the gadgets. There are some familiar characters in the game, such as Alfred, Commissioner Gordon, etc. The difficulty is a tad higher than you would expect, but that only adds up to the challenge. You would also love the moody soundtrack that syncs with the narrative. Whether you love the animated series or the beat-em-up games, you are all set to enjoy this one.
Should I? What the hell? Why is this happening? Come, Blockbuster. Genosha awaits.
Deadpool, Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. Deadpool pitches for a top-notch game starring himself, but the idea is rejected by High Moon Studios. He makes them relent when he sets off explosives at the studio, and now he goes after a corrupt media mogul. Soon, he realizes that the real enemy is Sinister. In order to get to Sinister, he must get past his forces and other enemies. You play as Deadpool in this power-packed action-adventure. Deadpool fans are in for a treat, as this game by High Moon Studios
has knocked the ball out of the park. There's hardly much of a storyline, but it has been the same way in the comics as well. In fact, this game is among the funniest that we've played and is a cool slash and hack game to try out. This game has done well to capture the crazy side of Deadpool and also features some hilarious moments. The guest appearances of Wolverine, Domino, Rogue, and Psylocke is also pretty amusing. He has an interesting arsenal consisting of a variety of things from hammers, swords, and guns. At times, it gets on your nerves just how well Deadpool heals. Even with the worst of moments, when he is low on health, he just needs to run around to be revitalized in no time. The last level is pretty memorable with the final showdown between Deadpool and Sinister. With good graphics, action, gore, and plenty of funny stuff, this game offers you a complete package that you like, particularly if you like a bit of humor in your games.
We must stop him.
Now?
Yes, now. We have no choice.
Make more noise. I'm only breaking and entering here. Spider sense tingling. Now what? Spidey is behind our heads.
See it.
Spider-Man, PlayStation 1. In this game, you play as Spider-Man as he is in all sorts of trouble. A symbiotic invasion of New York is
Dicen que
being plotted,
ese juego
and Spider-Man has
fue el
been
que
framed by
dio los
Dr.
orígenes
Octopus.
al
He has
cómo
to
tiene que
save
ser un
his
juego
name while also dealing with
de
various other
superhéroes.
problems. He must save Mary Jane from Venom and also save Jonah
Los
Jameson from
cimientos.
Scorpion. Rhino's rampage in the middle of things also adds to his troubles. Can Spidey still protect mankind with his special powers? This probably ranks among the most underrated superhero games, despite being a thorough entertainer. One of the main reasons for this was that the game predates the movie, and it was only later that the craze for Spider-Man skyrocketed. You can enjoy the thrills of being Spider-Man in a 3D city that preserves the purity of the comics. The game absorbed everything about Spider-Man, from his web slinging to the wall crawling. In the course of the game, some Marvel characters, like the Human Torch and Captain America, make occasional appearances that are fun to watch. You have the pleasure of facing against the finest of Spider-Man.
El de Deadpool sí es muy bueno, Deadpool.
Venom, Rhino,
Yo veo un gameplay y me cae la risa.
challenging, and it demands a bit of your
No lo
patience
jugué.
to breeze through the levels. We wish the game was a bit
Tela da
longer,
tela, no sé por
and there
qué.
are some hardware shortcomings as well. But you can look through the issue in the face of a fascinating execution that will appeal to every Marvel fan.
I got caught saying you'd show tonight. I don't know who it was.
Son muy memes. The Punisher.
The Punisher, PlayStation 2, Microsoft Windows, Xbox, Java, Windows Mobile. The arch enemies from the comic books are back to
Java,
haunt
está en
Frank
Java, me estás
for the
jodiendo.
Punisher yet again. He has decided to wage war against crime that has turned the Mafia against him. He is also faced with a notorious Yakuza clan. In this game, he can temporarily team up with some of the agents from S.H.I.E.L.D. to accomplish the tasks. This is possibly the best video game representation for the violent vigilante that provides for a gamer's delight. This game also has on offer the lovable S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, Nick Fury, and the player has the choice of playing as him or Frank Castle. Either way, you can get to smash and shoot your way through the enemy ranks as you prepare for a final showdown with the boss. The parts where you get to interrogate the scum of the city and even torture them are very enjoyable. Besides the conventional methods of torture, there are some extreme means, such as using a piranha. The inclusion of heroes like Iron Man and some badass villains like Kingpin and Bullseye make things interesting. We can't say that this game requires too much strategy, but it still remains true to the source material and provides for entertaining gameplay. The challenge modes, in particular, are very difficult to ace, as you must travel through trigger-happy Yakuzas without taking any damage. To face off with Punisher's old enemies and new, this is a game that you must try your hand at.
Oh, juegazo, que nunca lo terminé.
The Death and Return of Superman, 1994, Sega Genesis. A dangerous monster called Doomsday invades Metropolis and wreaks havoc. In this chaos, there is only one hope that lies with Superman. He must defeat Doomsday in a fierce battle that will decide the fate of the city. This game, done by Blizzard Entertainment, which also made the Diablo games, promises some exciting action when you play as Superman to be the savior. It is very challenging to devise a game around Superman, simply due to his indestructible nature. It almost becomes like an invincible character that hardly has proper challenges. While most efforts fall flat on their faces, this one comes close to a nice game for the superhero. It takes heart from the comic book storyline, and you can play as Superboy, Superman, Steel Cyborg, Doomsday, and even the Eradicator. As a gamer, you are bound to enjoy the feeling of being Superman as you fly and do all kinds of stuff that he does. His powers, like the super punches and the heat vision, also come in handy. One small issue with this game was just how very difficult they made this. Without the special codes, it was almost impossible at times to go ahead through the levels. The game utilizes the best of Sega Genesis 16-bit ability and comes with stellar graphics, especially if you consider the times. Overall, this offers a promising gaming experience that Superman fans are sure to enjoy.
Shadow Division.
Ah, touche. So, what's the master plan, Patel? You shadowy types always have one?
I could kill you, or I could explain everything and then kill you. I think I'll just kill you.
Son of a...
Spider-Man, Shattered Dimensions.
Ese es un juegazo ese. Ese sí lo pasé.
Xbox 360, Microsoft Windows. In this version of the Spider-Man game,
Llegué al final, es muy bueno ese juego.
Spider-Mans from a different universe in the Marvel Comics multiverse. It all starts when the Tablet of Order and Chaos
Borrame y universo Marvel dos veces.
Spider-Man
Sí, creo que sí.
This distorts the balance between the multiple realities, and Spider-Man from the different worlds must work.
Sí, de hecho, estaba viendo mientras comía, sí, estoy viendo juegos Hidden Gems, se le dicen, de PlayStation 1 y los bajé para después probarlos. Tengo el Chaos Break, que es uno como Resident Evil, pero con más acción. Legend of Legaia, Mad Stalker y bueno, otros tres que no me acuerdo quiénes son. Ah, Elemental Garbolt. No, Gearbolt. Ese está buenísimo, lo jugué, está buenísimo. It helps in creating the perfect atmosphere that is supported by cutting-edge graphics. In short, among the many Spider-Man games you have on offer, this is certainly among the technically superior ones. El que está muy bueno de Spider-Man es el Web of Shadow. Yo lo estaba jugando, me re emocioné hasta que se me bugueó. No podía avanzar más, o sea, no sé, se quedaba ahí. Volvía a cargar la partida y se quedaba ahí, entonces no lo seguí. Pero está buenísimo ese. Super Soldier, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360. I think most of us are familiar with the movie versions of this. The game is derived strongly from the events of the movie, and you have to play as Captain America to take on the Hydra forces. You have to rescue Bucky, contact Howard Stark, más allá de que es medio violento y que hay algunos juegos así. Besides Hydra, he must also tackle the forces of the Red Cross, who wants him dead. When we think of Marvel and Captain America, immediately a promising storyline comes to mind. For this game, however, the only issue is probably the plot that had scope for improvement. Apart from that, this game is an experience of a lifetime, where you get to play as Captain America in a setup that has outstanding graphics. A special word of praise must go out for the sound in this game and how the makers perfected it. Even the sound of bullets reflecting off the shield sound interesting. The design of Red Skull was spot on, although the other characters could have been better. Through 18 challenging levels in the story mode, you eventually complete your mission. There might be some flaws with the game, but as long as you are a Captain America fan or love action games, this will be worth your time. ¿Terminado? Buen video, buen video. Tengo otro.
Extremely underrated PlayStation 3 games that you hunt and play. The transition from PS3 to PS4 has almost been like a relay race, where some of the greatest PS3 games were remastered for PS4. Many of the finest PS3 games have undergone a complete makeover and have been immortalized. However, there are many that did not receive the appreciation they deserved. Some of these games were way ahead of their times, while others sought to offer an online experience of an unprecedented scale. In this video, we bring you some of these underrated PS3 games that will offer a wonderful gaming experience if you try them out. Warhammer 40,000. The orcs invade the world of Gryath, and the Imperial commanders think of ways to regain the lands. They deploy some super soldiers to gain control of Gryath, and they arrive to provide support to the outnumbered and weakened Imperial forces in the world. Titus and his fellow soldiers must slay the enemies fast and quick. Little do they know, they are about to unleash a much bigger threat. This third-person shooter game was based on the Warhammer 40,000 universe, and stresses upon a hybrid shooting and combat model. The storyline is involving, and the game is visually brilliant with excellent camera movements. It is pretty entertaining to gun and chainsword through the orc-filled wastelands. The gameplay is rather simple, where you have to take on hordes of orcs and the forces of chaos. You play as Titus and complete missions alongside Sidonis and Leandros. Some of the missions, however, must be performed alone. The brutal animation makes for a satisfying combo alongside the terrific sound, especially for the orcs. As for the arsenal, things start off with a knife and pistol, but soon you can acquire better weapons such as the Vengeance Launcher that shoots sticky grenades. Warhammer might be popularly known for its strategy outings, but this is a more of a charging into enemies head-on kind of game that you would love. Vanquish. The game is based in a futuristic
es un
world where the
juegazo.
President of the United States hires a team of soldiers to
Ya no lo
take
pude
back a
jugar.
space station that has been occupied by an ultranationalist
Para,
from
ya lo
Russia.
estoy buscando.
Sam Gideon and a team of trained
Ah, no, pero está
soldiers
para
are
PC
dispatched
ese.
to accomplish the mission, but
No
they have
conozco
a
nada.
mighty enemy to deal with. Vanquish is a third-person shooter game that was designed by the same team responsible for Resident Evil 4, and their skills show when you play.
Le tiene mucha bronca a los super. En algunos universos perdió a su familia por un error de un superhéroe y bueno, en modo ultra violento. Ah, eso no sabía. O sea, lo de la película estaba bueno y también aparece en una serie de los X-Men de los 90, creo, que estaba bueno, que venía del futuro para... Creo que la misma idea era de agarrar a Wolverine porque se curaba rápido para una epidemia, una cosa así. Qué juegazo. Y los de DC también, creo. Y algunos animes también se están volviendo super fanservice. Una cagada. Antes el anime no era así. Sin huevos en la playa.
Resistance 3. This sci-fi post-apocalyptic first-person shooter tells the story of the world where the United States is standing up to the invincible Chimeran forces. These forces are conducting a full-scale genocide against humans, and Capelli and his militia company try their best to stay away from the murderous Chimeran forces. In the harsh environment, Capelli must work with his men to have a chance of surviving. The best thing about this game is that it manages to combine the best of the first two installments before it. The diverse environments, a perfect atmosphere, and some kick-ass boss battles. The game is sure to keep you on the edge of your seats. This shooter game has some fantastic graphics that make the enemies appear scary. Besides
juego es
the
este? ¿Le
gorgeous
dijo?
visuals, it also boasts a killer soundtrack that is just perfect for the gameplay. The online mode was exciting as well, especially with the mixture of human and alien weaponry to choose from. The narrative is engaging, and you are bound to feel a strong bond towards the characters.
¿Por qué
of
se
Capelli
ve
and
con
Valentine.
mala
The game was
calidad?
released at a time
Me lo
when
ponen a
people
360 esta
were getting
porquería.
used to top-notch gaming experiences from Call of Duty or Battlefield, but it still managed to hold its own.
Está bien que lo
This
retransmito
action-packed
chiquitito, pero
masterpiece
yo lo
also
quiero ver
has
lindo.
elements of love and heartbreak, and is overall a complete package set to thrill the gamers. The only reason this game didn't reach its true potential? Because it was a PS3 exclusive. Lollipop Chainsaw. Of all the heroes who slay zombies, you would least expect a cheerleader to do so. Yet that is the drawing point of this comedy horror hack and slash game. Juliet Starling is a cheerleader from a fictional high school in California, and she uncovers the root of a deadly zombie outbreak. Now she has to balance all the drama in her high school and her zombie hunting skills to face hordes of the undead. This game offers an innovative take on the zombie
Sí, yo
genre.
también, el autómata, hace rato que le tengo ganas.
The dialogues are purposely hilarious, and the narrative is often ridiculously funny. The gameplay gets challenging.
Yo jugué el primero,
and if you
el
find
segundo me
something zombies
fijé y
would be
está
simple,
bastante
it can.
carito
The
como para
combat sequences
comprarlo.
are pretty cool.
O el Nier
Using the
o el,
game
¿cómo se
classes,
llama?
you can
O
get new combos and
el
enhanced skills.
el
The
otro,
boss
¿cómo se
fights
llama?
are a
El
bit
Resident Evil, no
tricky.
sé, no
There's
sé
always a
cuál
lot of fun
comprarme.
killing zombies with the chainsaw.
Pero va a ser uno, no me
This
puedo
game
comprar los
has
dos.
decent graphics, and the layout has an
Va,
arcade feel.
poder puedo, pero
We promise you
no me
more
va a gastar
fun with this
tanto en
light
un
party
par de
take on a
juegos.
dark theme. The only
Tengo que
reason this
ver
game
cuánto
did
es
not
que
get
sale una
super
skin, porque
appreciated
me he
is
comprado
because it was
skins
released
así
at a
al
time when
pedo
a lot of zombie games were
y me
being
parece
released, and
que
people
está al
were
mismo
somewhat
precio y
bored
digo,
with it.
ay, no tendría que haber comprado una puta skin.
Like what you say. Qué magnífico.
¿Habló en gallego? Me pareció.
Shadows of the Damned. Garcia is a demon hunter who has to fight the forces of darkness. The love of his life is threatened in a hyper-twisted world of demons, and he must enter deep within to attempt a rescue. The only thing that can defeat the evil of darkness is the strength of light, and Garcia must use all his wits to bring down the Lord of Demons. As support, he has his demon sidekick who can act as a torch, gun, and motorcycle. You have to play as Garcia in this action-packed game, and everything about this game, from the storyline to the gameplay, will appeal to the gamers. Besides the impressive graphics, the attention to detail had us floored. As far as the gameplay is concerned, it is great fun to move Garcia through various environments. There is a nice collection of weapons that his sidekick can transform into, including shotguns, pistols, and rifles. The boss fights are quite challenging, but after making it through one, you can upgrade your weapons. Our personal favorite is the light bullet that the sidekick can fire. It stuns enemies and is very handy when it comes to the game's darkness puzzles. Any form of darkness is your enemy, and you would lose health until you light up the area. The sound design was spot on, and the clever use of darkness makes the game pretty exciting. If you're looking for a fun adventure game, your search ends here with this remarkable game from the PS3 era.
Ah, ese lo jugué para PC una vez.
Heavenly Sword. The Heavenly Sword is a powerful weapon, but
Creo
it
que
can be
está
a
para
weapon of
PC, si no me
destruction in the
equivoco.
wrong hands. It was once wielded by a deity from heaven to defeat a wicked warlord, and currently King Bohan seeks to own the sword. Nariko, a young but skilled warrior, must protect the sword from him and ensure peace in the world. Ninja Theory is best known for the iconic game Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, and the company does not disappoint with this outing. The gameplay will remind you of games like Devil May Cry and God of War. Nariko is one of the main characters, and she uses the titular Heavenly Sword. The sword
gusta
morphs
cómo
into
queda el
various
pulgar.
forms depending on the stance of the player. The fighting styles are a sight to enjoy for the action lovers. We particularly love the power stance, in which the attacks are made with a sword that turns into the shape of a large two-handed blade. Although you play as Nariko for a major part of the game, for a while you may have to play as a secondary character named Kai. Her missions are more like sniping tasks, where she uses a crossbow to take down enemies and protect certain characters. Some of the enemies are a bit too tough to beat, and the puzzles will test your patience at times. There are some enjoyable cinematic scenes in between battles, and the overall graphics are among the best in the business. Despite being such an entertaining game, it never caught up with the masses because during its release, the press was critical of the high pricing of the PS3, and not many could afford the system. Spec Ops, The Line. The city of Dubai has been laid to waste due to a deadly sandstorm. A hardened American regiment titled Damned is dispatched to rescue any survivors. The dangerous sandstorm closes in on the team, and when 3 soldiers are sent to discover the truth, they unravel a rather shocking mystery.
Right.
Here is a game that has the ability to send a shiver down your spine. It offers an emotional and gritty gaming experience where the narrative always nurtures a doubt in you regarding whether you should have picked differently. It is a flawless effort in terms of the story and also the gameplay. It may seem like the usual run-of-the-mill shooter game, but the setting provided is pretty unique. Under the apparent shootout game, you will find some underlying references to the futility of war.
Yo quiero ver
and
esos
violence.
30 KB
As you
polígonos
go
para el
ahead with this
culito
game,
de...
you'll have to make some
De hecho,
although it had content like no other, it was perhaps a bit too thought-provoking for
Che,
its
¿viste
time,
los
and
androides
the
posta a
popularity
posta
it deserved.
que hay en Japón? Que lo están haciendo con silicona así que parecen humanos, pero zarpadamente. La otra vez vi un video ahí en Facebook, no me acuerdo si lo guardé, pero zarpadísimo, o sea, era una mina. Japonesa, pero mina, posta.
This arcade racing game takes
Me hizo acordar a
you
Chubby,
into a
no sé
fictional
por qué.
reality show where you have to
Ese, el
participate
Split
in various
Second
events.
Velocity.
These
Ese era el
events
juego
are
que
based
decía.
in some hostile, destructible environments, and the actions of the driver
No
determine
está
the
para
outcomes
PC
of the
este,
races.
¿no?
For instance, players can bolster their power play meter through several stunts, and this creates special events such as obstacles for other players.
A ver.
We can only think of one reason as to why this game never caught the attention of the gamers. It is simply because racing games are a dying art, and even all the entertainment to offer with this one wasn't enough to become popular. The mid-air overtakes, massive jumps, and drifting with control are features that would appeal to racing
Sí, está
enthusiasts.
para PC.
We love the power plays where explosives
A no
can
ser
be
que
dropped
esté
from
emulado, pero
helicopters.
a ver.
With 15 different tracks to offer, you have plenty to play for, and the more you play, the greater your skills become. The variety of tournaments have varying difficulty levels that you have to master. The graphics are exceptionally
para
well
PC.
done, and even the handling of the cars is
Sí, sí,
smooth
está.
and slick. If you want the adrenaline rush
Está
of
para
some
PC.
brisk speeding in the middle of destruction, this game is the one to look for.
¿De dónde mierda lo descargo?
Bionic Commando, 2009. Major Nathan Spencer is a government agent who works in the fictional city of Ascension. He is betrayed by his own government and imprisoned under false charges. Just before he is about to be executed, the city is destroyed due to a detonation of an experimental weapon conducted by a terrorist group that threatens to invade. Spencer is freed and given a chance to redeem himself. And his bionic arm is
¿A un juego
reunited.
bueno que actual que esté bueno para PC? Sé que Little Nightmare está muy bueno. Ya me descargué el primero, pero ahora cuando tenga tiempo lo voy a jugar. ¿Cuál me recomiendan?
Among the weapons available, the tungsten gun doesn't cause much damage but can be shot quickly, while the prototype gun does maximum damage in a quick time. Besides these, you have the usual shotgun, machine gun, and other weapons that are provided during the occasional drops in the course of the game. However, you have to be careful and conservative with the ammunition. The gameplay is realistic, and Spencer takes some time in getting used to the bionic arm, as he had been away from it for such a long
No
time.
está el Split Second.
Slowly,
¿Dónde
he
mierda lo
perfects the
busco?
swings and vertical leaps and can even
No
take
quiero un
out
virus.
enemies during these moves. In short, this engaging game will be loved by anyone who has a taste for thrilling adventure-based games.
That's how she managed to escape.
Zona de aneros. Ahí puede ser que salga.
Twisted Metal,
sea bueno.
2012. Like the predecessors in the series, Twisted Metal is also a deadly competition where Calypso participates with only winning on his mind. Every character is equipped with cars that have various weapons, and they compete in a strange world where humanity is the least of their concerns. This thought-out and well-designed game is among the best of the Twisted Metal series. It requires a bit of patience from the gamer, as they would have to invest time to gain proficiency with the game. The gripping story will have your attention in a flash, and the game even uses live-action CGI
El
for some
Amigos
cutscenes
Young
used to tell the
Games.
story. Visually, the game packs quite a punch,
PC,
with gorgeous
distribuidor
colors and
Disney.
eerie
What the
environments. You have
fuck?
an interesting choice of weapons to play with that range from remote mines to standard missiles. The controls are perfectly tuned, which helps you to participate in this mad
$4.65
Armageddon
está en
Even though
Steam.
this game had amazing
A ver.
reviews and decent marketing, for some reason
Es
it was
broma.
quickly forgotten and gamers moved on.
There's one shot left.
$2.72. Me lo compro. A ver en Steam.
Condemned 2. Ethan Thomas was a reputed detective with a serial crimes unit for the FBI. After his former partner is killed, he is brought back to identify and bring down the
¿Por
killer.
qué me aparece así la
His
concha
dark
de
and
hermana?
violent city holds some strange secrets that he is about to uncover. It seems like citizens are acting more violent than ever before. This first-person action game is remarkable in comparison with others in the survival horror genre. The gameplay focuses heavily on the survival aspect, which means that you have to focus hard to make
El
some
Kakaroto
split-second
sigue
decisions.
estando.
In your chaotic environment, anything can be used as a
Huevo.
weapon. And that comes in handy when you
2000
have to
mango
walk
el
the
Kakaroto,
streets and
déjate de
get
joder.
attacked by crazy killers. The atmosphere of horror prevails.
No es
throughout the game.
un.
In the
Ah,
most
qué
unexpected
juegazo.
moment, you can get bricks thrown at you by some lunatic. The dark and
2000
gritty
pesos
graphics
quise
go
decir, no sé si dije
perfectly with the
dólares.
gameplay. And the
Estoy medio
makers have done
dormido.
a fabulous job with the characters and settings. The locations range from back alleys to abandoned hotels and factories. There is a separate subplot that deals with Ethan's alcoholism, and it has an impact on the game. We only wish that the makers would
No, no
leave
está
this
el
on
Split
cliffhanger.
Second.
The
Split
game is brutal
Second.
and terrifying,
Acá está.
and you must go for it only if you are sure that you have
224
the nerves.
pesos. Y en el otro estaba a $2. ¿Dónde me conviene comprar? A ver, ¿dónde estaba el otro? 2,72. A ver, 2,72 por, vamos a poner 140. 380 pesos. Me conviene comprarlo por Steam. Estaba escuchando el tráiler. Che, el último juego, cara que no lo vi. ¿Por qué no le puedo poner play vieja? $10 Best PC1 Adventure Games. Horror, dice, ¿eh? Ok, vamos a ver.
May the powers of the green pearl protect you.
¿Por qué no se ve?
Listen, I'll explain it to you once again.
Uno con el tiempo va mejorando algunas ideas. Yo tal vez pueda escribir algunas y dibujarlas. Muy bien. Spec Ops, legamos de los crímenes de guerra. Ajá, ese era ese. Yo últimamente andaba mucho el Terraria. Sí, el Terraria me dijeron que era bueno. El Stargone lo debería meter ganas y volver a jugar. Es literalmente un Terraria, pero en el espacio y con mod de moda china. ¿En serio? A ver, eso del Star no sé cuánto.
This poster worries me, Miguel. Certainly brings out your worst features. You're a true friend. No.
Ah, es este, mira vos. ¿Y qué tenés que hacer? ¿Ver tu casa? ¿Qué onda?
What do you sell?
Corn. Golden bounty of the new world.
Could you give me a small bag of corn?
Give me 1% on my shot.
1%? That's all the money we have in the world. Here you go, 1%.
Here you go. One small bag of corn.
Head up in here.
Clock Tower 2. El Clock Tower 1 estaba para la Super Nintendo, si no mal recuerdo. Y dicen que es muy bueno.
A human torso.
Me faltó una oreja.
What's that?
Why Agent Wilmore?
My agent Cook. He picked a great day to be late. Some big gun in from DC.
What the fuck? Ah, ese me gustaría jugarlo.
I doubt it has anything to do with us.
Pero no es inglés.
Wilmore.
Puta madre.
Agent Wilmore, I want to see you in my office.
muy bueno. Es muy bueno.
This is Assistant Director Skinner.
Agent Wilmore, sir.
Y te venden, volver a jugar casualmente al losito me hace menos daño que hace tiempo cuando le metía ganas. Vaya, nos vemos, Demons. Nos vemos en otro. Uno, dos, tres. Me falta esta. Bueno, creo que me voy a tomar algo.
Very long.
Is anyone around?
Me agarró un hambre terrible.
Or dead? If you're dead, don't answer.
Rainbow tag required.
Una hora puntual, qué groso que soy. Hubo un pico de 6 personas. Mira vos, interesante. Nos vemos más tarde, vieja. Alto terror. Eso es terror. Eso es terror. En el espacio. Encima un zombie en el espacio. Que flota.